Okay. Hello and hello everyone. My name's Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing My Slow Life Hobbies in My 30s, I have here with me my old vintage, as some might say, Stanley No5 hand plane. As you can see, it is very worse for wear. It is in really not good shape. Very not good shape. Look around to the other side. So, we're gonna get this guy fixed up. We're gonna get this guy looking a lot more like this fella over here. Which, this is my Worthington hand plane, which I've used a couple times. This is also another hand plane I've fixed up, cleaned up. Gotta say, a lot shinier, a lot newer. So, we're gonna be getting the Stanley in a much better state than it is right now. So, I will go ahead and say that one of my goals for today is to not get this 100%. I'm not going to get there. Mostly because of my handle. So, my handle is broken, and I need to fix that. And I genuinely don't think gluing that together is gonna fix that. So I bought myself a nice little block here of Brazilian rosewood, and I'm going to be using this. Well, I'm going to use the old handle as a template. Stay, please, thank you, and hopefully get this guy up and running eventually. But that's actually probably going to be like a separate stream. So, but first things first is good old disassembly, because we can't clean everything if everything is still held together. So we're just going to start at the front of the plane here and get the brass nut out. This is a brass nut on a steel shaft. That's interesting. That's kind of cool. So the brass nut, it's see-through. It's slotted through. That's kind of cool. And this just comes out. This is the old handle, which I'm not planning on, considering the fact it's got some age to it, but still got a nice shine. I'm not really worried about it. I'm not gonna really mess with it a whole lot, because what I am trying to accomplish today is I'm trying to get my plane to a working state, not a super shiny state. I don't care about super shiny. So there's the main plate. Then here we have our irons, which our irons are in really rough shape. So first part here, this is the main blade of the iron, which thankfully, as we can see, we got a little bit of wood left in between the what's the chip breaker, this part here, and our iron. Got a little bit of wood there, but otherwise, usually a big issue you'll have with like your blades is you'll have like chipping, which, for an excellent example of a chip, there you go. We lost a little corner of that guy at some point. So let me grab handy dandy screwdriver and see if we can't. A few hand turns, and voila! Holy smokes, that is just like some packed in there gunk. I'm gonna save that gunk. I'm a gunk saver. Whew! But yeah, this has got some rust to it. But that's fine. That is more than fine. Now, ooh, wow! Okay, so our so this is our fixture screw. So this fixes the plane irons to what's called the frog. Now the frog here is looking in some pretty rough shape. Guess I should have grabbed a thinner. know what? I should grab a thinner screwdriver, because that's actually turning. Because usually these big screwdrivers are really good for if a screw's seized. These larger screwdrivers are really good, but sometimes they can be a little bit thick. So if I've got a good turning going on, I should be able to get this guy out. So we're basically gonna just really disassemble this thing and go through everything and really clean it. Now we've got these two screws down in here. These are technically the screws I'm most worried about. Yep, that is not enough screwdriver. But the question is this too much screwdriver? If I can get it to, because if I can break it, because these are the ones, in my experience playing with hand planes, have been the ones to give me the most trouble. Because these are down here, they're buried. So I am gonna get the biggest and greatest weapon available to me, and that is the krill. So this is a penetrating lubricant. You can see my handy dandy can of WD-40 over there. Krill's a lot better for what I'm doing here, because this is a penetrating lubricant. So this does a lot better job of getting into the nooks and crannies of the thing and actually getting it lubricated. And also this stuff has a very distinctive smell. Very distinctive smell. I would almost describe it as a hair bit on the fruity side, but yeah, it's a very distinctive smell that if you smelled it once, okay, that screwdriver is still, I think that screwdriver is probably a little too much. Ooh, that is certainly a seized screw. Oh, well, other screw is less seized, so a lot more friendly to me. So thank you for being friendly. Oh my goodness gracious, that screw's got some gunk on it. That has got some gunk on it. So we're gonna go ahead, just hit this with another round of the krill. Hopefully that'll all sink down in there, and I'll get that screw loosened up, because if I can't get that screw out, I can't get my frog out. Oh, wowzers! That is one. You can try under the frog from the back to that stuck one. Wait. Oh, spraying. Okay. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get a screwdriver, but hey, welcome in, Dad's old shop. Honestly, I've also preset, just like let the krill sit for a little while, and that has usually done a pretty good job for me. So I'm honestly just gonna shift gears for a little while, and we're gonna move further down the plane. Ooh. But yeah, welcome in. And I hope you're having a good day. My plane handle has seen better days, but that is fun, because I have a game plan. Kind of. So I've got, so to finish getting the tote out, we've got this one more screw right down in here. So far we've had one screw give me trouble. Wow, you know what? That's a... I'm sure you have a plan to handle it. Oh, man, what... Where would we be without a good dad joke? Where would we be? We would not be in a good spot. That's where we would be. Okay. That's interesting. That is really interesting. Actually, that's what I've got going on down here. But yeah, I'm actually planning on making a handle. I actually got this piece of, so it's 2 inches. Well, it's actually, so they actually did this in actual dimensions versus nominal dimensions, because when I bought this online, I was a little bit concerned for the dimensions because I wasn't sure if they were going to be real or nominal. Yeah. And I gotta say, I spent a whole $5. Well, here's the thing: the block of wood cost like $5, but the shipping was more than $5. But I'm hoping to remake a handle out of that. But this screw down here is just packed with gunk. This is just packed with gunk. So my game plan is to just remake the handle. Now, the break on the handle's fairly clean. I think it's a pretty clean break. But this is also a handle that has definitely been modified. Because originally this probably would have came up to here. But I think that was getting in the way of the side adjuster on it. So whoever had it for the first little while were probably like, we're just going to make this a little bit more usable. Ooh, that is not doing anything for me. Second screwdriver. Second screwdriver just doesn't feel like it's getting in there. Interesting. Because one screwdriver is too thin and one screwdriver is... One's too thin, one's too thick. Little does this hand plane know, I have options. I have so many options. So let's go for this guy here. So I've got a nice in-between size. So, a little bit of a perspective. So, too much is one thing, then we'll go with what will hopefully be the right amount. That's the thing, it just feels like it's... Ah! Ha ha! Granted, I also think it's just getting the right force on it. Because that's how it is sometimes for like fasteners. Is they will just fight you until you like get the force on them just right. But here's the end tote. So that is roughly how it would have been. But that is not how it is anymore. Granted, I think it's actually cool that there's actually there's a hollow to it. And there's a 2. There's a 2 down there. I don't know what that 2 stands for. Okay. So, you can also see I've kind of exposed some metal. Exposing metal is not good. Exposing metal is very not good. That's undesirable. That is an undesirable. Oh, okay. We're gonna have a fight screw today. Okay, can I center that? Oop. I think it wiggled. Come on. Play nice. Are you sitting? No, you're not. You're not. No, you're good. You're just gonna damage it. That's what you're gonna do. Because that was not sitting down in the screw. Actually, you want to get another screw driver? What do I wish to do? What do I want to do? Because I know one option. Yeah, that screwdriver's not. It doesn't have a thin enough blade. Okay. So, now, I actually have my little hand cam here. I actually have it on wheels. We're going to go to the device. For convincing. Okay, let's see here. Get that locked. Then I'm also gonna lock my workbench because everything I have around here is on wheels. And we're gonna get very convincing on this. And I have no light. I have no light. I would like to have a little bit more light. So I would like to... Actually, wait a second. Do I got those shop? I don't have those shop lights on. Shop lights. Give me a little bit more light from the other direction. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. Damn. Don't like that. This is going to be enjoyable. I wish I had a screwdriver that had as thin of a head, but was a little bit wider. Because right now I'm not getting a lot of force on my screw here. And I dislike that. Oh! The snap heard around the world. But yeah. Victory! Oh man. A hard-fought victory. But a victory won! Woo! And with that... bang! Whoa! Just chunks falling out of this guy. Whew! Oh man, we really need to... You need some ragtime. But yeah. That is the frog of the plane, which really needs some TLC. Everything here needs TLC. Whew! And as you can see, there's where the frog originally sat. Man, I wish... Ooh! Not exactly what I want, but... we can at least brush this up a little bit. And that can at least take care of some of the bigger stuff for us. As we get into the rest of this. So, thankfully the big hard part is done now. And that literally is just disassembling. Disassembling is kind of the hard part with some of this stuff, because you don't always know how it's going to come apart on you. I certainly don't know how it's going to come apart on me until I start actually taking stuff apart. So, I need room for water. So, 1 bin of water. So, we've got lots of dust. We have dust, we have crud, we have dirt, grime. There might even, if I'm particularly lucky, there might even be congealed bits of blood somewhere. So, Actually, wait. Man, that rag was very hydrophobic. You picked up like no water. Yeah, that rag likes water. Okay, so step 1 after disassembling, for me at least, is I like to take a wet rag and really go through the plane. Really go through everything. Try to get as much of that grimy grime off as I can. Mostly trying for loose stuff. Loose oil, loose sawdust, anything loose and easily grabbed. So, easily picked up by the rag. As you can see, we got... So that way, once we actually get into the more funner parts of showing this feller some love, we'll have a little bit less stuff fighting us, because basically I tackle this a lot like in brewing. In brewing, we have a saying. And the saying is, you have to be clean before you can get sanitized, and you can't sanitize then clean. That's not how anything works. And what that means is, if you have grime in your brewing equipment, you cannot even begin to think about killing the bacteria on your brewing equipment. So what we're doing is the clean before the sanitize, where in this case, sanitizing is going to mostly revolve around removing rust, removing all the bad stuff on here. Is mostly what I'm trying to go for today, because I'm actually not trying to... I don't do full rust. I don't try to like make this like look like it originally did. I don't... It's not the type of stuff I do. I mostly just try to get my main goal is just getting this tool back into working order, back to the point where I can put it into the shop and actually start getting some use out of it, because I'm pretty sure that's what this tool would want. That's certainly something I would want. Granted, we've got some paint. That's going to be fun. Still a little bit of grime. Most of the grime is going to be concentrated in this fun little area, because this is where all the plane chips and such go through. And I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab a knife and not try to throw it into the water. So since I got this like chunk of paint, I'm going to just try and slowly rock my blade. Slowly rock the blade. That's how you keep from getting a cut. There we go. Got a good chunk of it. So there we go. A little bit more. A little bit more. And there. We got that. Then what I'm also going to do, just use the tip of my blade just to get a little bit more of that grime that's in the corners, because rags are pretty good at getting the grime out, but sometimes you just need like a really... Sometimes you just gotta make your point, you know? You gotta make your point known to your tool. So, there we go. We are getting really close to being done with that. There we go. I'm actually getting... Yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. Cool. So, that's one of several parts cleaned. Now, granted, we're getting to the... So that's our big part. That's the soul of the plane. Not soul, S-O-U-L, soul as S-O-L-E. So I'm gonna just get my rag wet here, and also I will be taking dry rags after this, and just going through everything and then getting all the water off. Now, some people might be like, hey, Sugi, you're putting all this metal, all this really, really old metal, which also technically, also sort of how I take care of some more holy areas of the plane. Holy, dumb joke. Okay, but as for like getting water on everything, I'm not too worried about that because I will be using WD-40 plus my wet rag. Well, with actually steel wool to kind of go through everything and make sure we get it clean. And that's actually gonna help a lot with, because like the chip breaker here is actually really in not bad shape. Granted, it's also the most sheltered child of our children here today. Knife, go up there. We'll just start. I'm gonna have all my small fittings. I'm gonna have a small little pile for them. Kind of just keep everything nice and separate in its own lane, if you will. Or whew. Now for the iron, I don't think you guys can see it, but it is stamped Stanley up here. Let's see. Probably can't see it with that water I got on it. You might see what we can accomplish once we get. Whew, boy. So I've got some. Whew. Got some real serious amounts of sawdust. Ooh, exposed a nice little S there. There we go. It's kind of interesting. This Stanley plane actually didn't have a whole lot of identifying marks saying it was a Stanley. It was very, how do I say? Like, it didn't seem like it was super proud of the fact that it was a Stanley. But I think that might just been like a product of the era, because this is a Stanley type. It's a Stanley number 5 type 4. So type 4 is the 4th iteration of the Stanley hand plane. So this is still like relatively early in Stanley's history. So there's not quite as much big markings to signify it as a Stanley. But my goodness gracious, this frog is going to look, with just taking a wet rag and being very generous with my fingers, getting into my nooks and my crannies. Like, this is going to get a lot better. This guy's going to be so much better. And then, since I have 2 holes here, I'm going to fish my little rag through it. See if I can't pull it through. I might not. Nope, a little too much rag. A little too much rag there, but that's fine. That does really help get some of those nooks and crannies cleaned up, though. Okay. Whew. Then also, what I'll do is I'm going to run my set screw all the way out, because what I'm going to want to do later is take that out, and then cool. So I can just set that guy in there. Now I still have the slight protruding disc of the side adjuster. But I do want to go ahead and, while I have all this disassembled, eventually I'm going to lap, which you can kind of see that whoever previously owned it did do a little bit of lapping to keep all of this as flat as it can, because this is basically the reference surface for the iron, and you want that to be as dead flat as you can. So that way the the iron has something it can sit on. So that is the frog cleaned. So going through the preliminary cleaning, everything is not super bad, but we're gonna be so much better. This thing is gonna be so, like, if I were to just do this water clean and put it back together, I'm sure this plane would be so much better. But we're gonna go, we're definitely gonna be going next. We're gonna be going next level. We're gonna get this. We're gonna treat it with a little bit more TLC. Put it that way. And I'm just gonna go through, and then, especially for my screws that have thread, I'm gonna really make sure I twist the head of the screw in the rag, so that way I pick up the dirt that is in the threads. So that will help me get all the grime out of these threads. Now, there's one of my screws I kind of abused it a little bit. You can see that shining. Shining is no good. You don't want that shiny, Mel. That just shows it's just me telling the world that I abused that. And my washers, the washers, we're just rubbing between the rags. Because I don't think I'm going to hit this stuff with WD-40 too much, because as you can see, the washer's got a pretty nice shine to it. And I like how irregular the hole is. Just a slight bit of irregularness to it. That's because this stuff was made a really long time ago. Because I think the Stanley Type 4 hails from the 1870s to the 1880s. So it's pretty old as far as hand plane's concerned. So if I can get this fixed up, breathe some nice life into it, we'll be doing really well, really well. But hello, Mr. Spock. We are doing wonderful today. Absolutely wonderful. Right now, lots of cleaning. We're going to be doing a fair bit of cleaning. Well, the initial water-based cleaning is nearly done. Got, I think, one more screw to go. Because there was definitely some. Yeah, there was grime in that screw. You gotta get that grime out. Can't be having grime in their screws, man. Not yet, but we will be sharpening it later. I think that's probably going to be the last thing I do, because right now I have a diamond stone, 1000 grit, and no, the diamond's not 1000. I think you're 600. You're either 6 or 100 because you're coarse. I know my diamond stone's a coarse. I just don't know what its grit is. 600. Okay, so it's a number 600. So we'll be working with the 600, and I also have a wet stone, but that stone is currently soaking in water right now, and that one is good for like rough sharpening. And I've definitely, actually, what am I doing? I'm exposing this poor plane to way too much water. Don't do that, buddy. Don't expose your past work to too much water. What happens when you lose a piece? Figure out a replacement. I mean, I really don't have that much in terms of screws because we have long screw. Long screw is for the handle that is now, which is broken. Short screw, that is going to be for the front knob. And then we have brass caps for both. Then we have this screw. This is the locking screw for the chip breaker and iron. That's going to go in this hole here in the center of the frog. And then we have 2 screws with washers that hold the body of the frog to the plane. And then we have this screw, which also holds, which will go here. But we're going to be remaking the handle, but I'm not going to be remaking the handle today because, well, I don't want to do that much work today. I think we're going to have a pretty full day just getting everything cleaned up, and that is everything cleaned up. So for my water, I'm going to take you away because we got some really dirty water, and in exchange, water for a cornucopious amount, absolute cornucopious amount of rags, sweet, sweet, fresh rags. We're just going to go through everything, get all the water off all of our metal parts, kind of get them a little bit extra cleaned up, which we're still picking up grime here, so definitely want to get as much of this grime off as I can, because this is probably going to be one of the few times I disassemble it this aggressively and clean it. Because one of the fun things is once you get this cleaned up and like, look at all this grime. I like working on old motorcycles. I always get extra parts that way, but yeah. I mean, if I was working on stuff like that, I would totally buy non-working motorcycles from like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something, and then have a part mobile, if you will. So that way, if I needed a part, well, you just go to the part thing. It's great parts. Okay, chip breaker. Thankfully, some of these other parts aren't as bad in terms of grime. Really, the body of the plain iron and the frog are my worst offenders here, simply because of how they are. Because they have all those nooks and crannies that hold all that terrible stuff. So that's one side. Let's see here. We can see a little bit, but I don't think you guys can. I think you guys can make out the fact there's some text, but not quite so much the text. And then for my small parts, I'm just going to set them on a rag to helps make them visible. And I really don't have to roll them around too much. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's my screws. Come here, you. Last pots I bought were YSR50, enough parts to build 2 motorcycles. There you go. Also, everyone's got to have a hobby. Ooh. But yeah, I'm going to grab a few more rags here. Just because I'm going to just rag. I'm going to rag on my surface. Like something terrible. Just because I've got lots of water on it now. And I want to get that water off. Granted, guess what? I'm going to be putting all that water right back. Once we get to sharpening. Once we get to sharpening. we're going to be playing with a lot of water at that point. So okay, but that is. I think that pretty much gets us for the preliminary cleaning. And yeah, just wiping stuff down. Got us a whole bunch of dirt, and we got all that dirt off. So, all that dirt off. I gotta pick apart. And then I gotta make a decision. Well, we're moving to phase 2 of cleaning. In phase 2 of cleaning, it's going to be getting good chunks of rust. Well, maybe not chunks per se, but we're going to be working on really cleaning up our parts. And for that, I'm going to be using good old WD-40 and steel wool. Now, I'm not trying to go for super shiny here, but I am going for looks better than at start of stream. Is my main goal. My cat's pissed off. She just swiped a pile of weed all over the table. Oh no. Darn cat. Making its feelings known like that. I'm not paying attention to her. There you go. Like, hey, guess what, you little cretin? If you're going to be a pain in the butt, I'm not going to pay attention to you. Okay. But yeah, we are getting real nice bits of grime and WD-40 off this, so hopefully this rust will slowly come off. I actually do have some. Actually, that is an option. I actually do have another option, which I do like this option. So, another option, if you do not wish to go the elbow grease and WD-40 route, is you can use some Evapor Rust. And you can just like take your parts, set it in that, and have it sit for like probably overnight. And well, actually overnight for stuff at this level should be fine, I would imagine. Especially if, because I might actually do that. Simply because I won't worry about the soul of the plane to do all that for. But some of these other components I might want to do that with, just because I want to make them look a little bit nicer. Which, I mean, hey, like this, I mean, that already looks a lot better. Because, let's see here. I don't know. I'd say that's reasonable for now. Might want to play around with the underside a little bit more. Get some of the rust down in there. Because Because the cleaner I get this at this stage, the less work the evaporust will do. Should I do that, which I probably will, because I'm actually not trying to put this plane together at the end of the stream. So I think that's the route I'll go. Is I'll just try to like WD-40 and steel wool my parts a little bit, just to kind of clean them up and like, hey, this was like a fresh rag before this part. So it's gonna, I mean, that looks so much better. Granted, you can see like how much like wear and tear this has experienced in its life. It's a really long life that we are gonna breathe even more life into it, whether it wants it or not. So actually, you know what? You're close. You're nearby, and you do need some work. So let's get to the plane iron next. And we'll start really rubbing, really scraping. Really just shower this thing in TLC. And we will also be sharpening the iron later. So oh wow, look at that. Already. Getting a real nice difference here. Because we'll do that. I'll do a little bit more here, because I got a little bit off here. Kind of would like to... Will it shave off wood like the Japanese wood shaving competitions? Nope. No, it will not, Mr. Spock. But that's also not what I'm going for. I actually, if I wanted to do that, I would actually need to sharpen it even more, because I need to go past 1000 grit to get that level of sharp. But I did order a 6000 grit whetstone from Japan, and that's coming in early December. And then once I have that, I'll actually then be able to start getting this stuff like really, really, really sharp. Because right now, man, look at all that. Oh wow, night and day, night and day. See through wood shaving? We might get close to that. We might get close. I'm not worried about getting it like super sharp. I don't need this to be competition sharp. I just need to be able to like make projects with this. That's the end goal. For me personally, is getting this to the point where it's pretty but like overkill. Yeah. Granted, I can definitely feel like there's texture to this rust I have here. I don't like having textured rust. But it is really starting to see a lot more metal, and have metal that has... Taking that thin of a shaving will leave you bleeding forever. Okay. I'm also nearly happy with this side of the iron. So we're going to do one more rub session, and then we'll flip it over and we'll go to the other side. Granted, there's a reason why that's also like competition grade stuff. Like, that is people who have spent a lot of time sharpening hand planes, working with wood. Like, that is like high levels of expert. And I am nowhere near that level of expert. I really do not. I don't even want to think about competing at such a level. But it's more like showing off proficiency, not day-to-day production. Yeah, I'm a day-to-day production type of guy. So, whew, got a lot of rust on my hands, but Plain Iron Part 1 is looking fabulous. Now we move on to Plain Iron Part 2. And probably after Plain Iron Part 2, my little bit of steel wool here will probably be dead. It will probably be dead. I'm baking a devil's food cake. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. I had a salad for lunch. That is what I had for dinner before stream, was a good old salad full of, I actually grew the lettuce. You made gyudon, nice! Oh, please tell me you had it with pickled red ginger. Please tell me you had it with pickled red ginger. Pickled red ginger and gyudon is just like a must, an absolute must. Looking fairly good. I think we'll do one more spritz and grind on this side of the world. Oh no, I don't have Gardy. I had it with the cucumber salad and kimchi. Oh, okay. Oh man, pickled red ginger. I love pickled red ginger. Granted, I suppose I'm actually spoiled that if I go visit my friends in Lexington, one of the things we do every time we're out there is we'll go to. There's actually a Japanese food market out there that serves all the foreign families from Toyota at their Georgetown plant, which makes the Toyota Camry. I actually get to just walk into a store and buy really authentic Japanese food. So we've done pretty much this side of the world for this. Feels a lot smoother, a lot better. Man. I'm not sure if that's the lamination line or not. Right there. But we got some, definitely have some rust. We have some crud. So, time to take care of the next side of the world. Because this is actually going to be one of the funner sides. Because if I'm lucky, I might get to expose some text for you all. I'm not entirely sure if that will actually happen, but we'll see. Man, so much crud. Ooh, patent. Ooh, okay. Nice. Starting to expose a patent stamp. Actually, does it show up better with a hair bit of WD-40 on it? Nope. I was optimistic. And I was mistakenly optimistic. Okay. wonder how much of this, like this rust crud, is coming off my thing, or it's coming from the actual steel wool. So, ah, whew. Let's see. So we've got ourselves a Stanley patent, APL 3. 91321, maybe. That's actually an aspect that makes me really wanting to put this through the evapor rust, because the evapor rust will actually show that up a lot better. So my original ball of sorry, that's not the winning lottery number tonight. Shucks. I don't play lottery anyway. I don't like playing games where the odds aren't in my favor. Which I might just honestly just try killing what steel wool I have left. I'm gonna literally kill it. I'm gonna murder it on my chip breaker. Okay. Grab our wonderfully abused rust-colored rag. Grab another round of WD-40. Spritz. Oh yeah, one of the nice things with the WD-40 does is it actually helps deal with water actually staying. Got to go in with the coworker pools. You don't want to get left behind. Oh. Yeah, but just imagine the job security you would have. Just like imagine how crazy the job security you would have if you're like half your department went in on a pool. One, they all win the lottery and get out of Dodge, and you're left standing there and you're like, so supervisor, boss person, you don't have a lot of talent around here right now, and you need a really talented person like myself who has lots of experience with the business / organization. What's my incentive to not consider other opportunities? Or deal with training all the noobs that are going to come in through that door? Or you just train the noobs and then you just be like, okay, I demand trainer pay. Now, for honestly, the flat back would be so bitter. My job doesn't do individual wage increases, union stuff. Oh man, that's big bummer territory right there. But yeah, I'm gonna call the other side pretty good, and we're gonna really work this other side. Then for the scoop part, I'm gonna just go real nice back and forth there. Okay, let's change up our rag game here. See what we get. Ooh, a lot better. A lot better. As you can see, like, we've got a real nice patinta down here Whereas like up top, you can definitely see we have a lot more of like the crusty rust stuff. So looks so much better, so much incredibly better. We are gonna. This tool is. This tool's at the spa today, or at least I hope I make. I hope I make it feels like it's at the spa today. Because I've also been sitting on this hand plane for quite some time. Because I got this from my grandpa's auction when the family went to auction off. Whoop! A part. You go in the loose part pile. When the family basically auctioned off his shop because, well, there was no good way to sell all the stuff he had. There was literally no good way to sell it other than at auction. And when my grandma was actually talking to him about it, I was like, hey, when you kick the bucket, what are we going to do with all this stuff? And my grandpa just goes, hey, just auction it off. Because that's where he bought it from, was auctions. He was a huge auction fiend. So we auctioned off all his stuff, and, well, I bought some of his old stuff. This old stuff I'm playing with right now. Cool, so that's chip breaker done. We are just moseying along here. Now, we are now getting into slightly dangerous territory here. We're getting into some pretty froggy business here. Now, for the frog, I'm not going to try and be super ambitious with the frog. Mostly because I know being ambitious here is going to be a nightmare. But I am going to lap the frog a little bit, so I at least want to get in here with the steel wool, the WD-40, and at least get a good amount of surface rust off, because I don't want that surface rust clogging up my sharpening stones. So, I actually have a fair bit of the old paint on that. So if all that is still good, I want to leave it. Unless it's like actively like chipping off. If it was like actively chipping off, I would just go ahead and wipe it, knock it off, get it off my tool. Okay, so we got that. Take a rag. Holy smokes, would you look at that? That looks so much better. So much better. And all that was a little bit of WD-40 and elbow grease. That genuinely looks good. That genuinely looks good. So I'm going to just hit some other parts of my hand plane here with the good old WD-40, because this under part here is where here's where it basically mounts into the plane. I want to make sure I show that a little bit of TLC. I don't want rust there, because if I have rust here, it's gonna slightly affect how the plane sits in the body of the sole, and I really don't want to ruin that. Well, the more even of a surface I can provide here, the better of a reference surface it's going to have once it goes into the plane. So we'll get that cleaned up right there. Nice. My gosh, look at. Also, I really like that S. That is a fabulous looking S right there. Absolutely love that. Definitely have some like a little bit of gunk here, like here and some of these other component parts, but I'm not too particularly concerned about that. I can live with that level of gunk. So we have now taken care of our four moderately sized pieces. Krill can go away. Thank you for your support. You're incredibly supportive tonight. Unfortunately, we got the big bucko. Up next, because boy, oh boy, does this soul need some TLC. And also, I hope this will make the lapping process, which will probably lap the soul after I get this clean, because I'm probably not going to be doing much with my small bits. I think with the way things are going, judging by time and all that fun stuff, we'll get this lapped. We'll do some sharpening. And for tonight, that will probably be what I try to accomplish here. Mostly because I'm not an ultra ambitious guy. As I said earlier, we still have to remake the handle. Man, that feels so much better. So we'll do one more session with WD-40. I'm also making my entire body here covered in rust. It's kind of interesting thinking about being a woodworker and working with wood and such. You end up playing with iron a lot. You end up playing with iron and steel a whole lot, because iron and steel are what you use to make your projects. So that nice rub. There we go. So at least that's the bottom part, which I already see pretty good improvement. Granted, this sole's it's pretty smooth, but as you can see, got some pretty nice scratches. I don't know if we've got any, I don't know if we got hollows yet. We're gonna find that out later. But we're gonna figure that out when we get to that point. Has the kitty visited today? Yes! Yes, the kitty has. Let's see. Oh yeah, when I went outside to gather my lettuce greens, the kitty ran across the backyard when I was going to grab those. But yeah, that cat reliably hangs around my yard. That cat likes my yard. And I think it's also because I have a pretty healthy bird population in my yard. So the cat's like, there's some food here. I'm gonna hang around here. So, but yeah, you know what? If I actually get a good opportunity to take some photos, I should probably take some more photos of the cat. Get one, so we'll do one more, because we're looking good. I mean, we're already looking so much better. It's actually kind of impressive, how little TLC it takes to really bring one of these tools back to life. But yeah, as you can see, we have more metal exposed. It's going to be a lot of elbow grease to really clean all that up. And I don't want to spend all day steel wooling. Let's see here. Because I don't mind steel. I don't mind playing with my steel wool. But I don't want to spend all day either. Especially considering I'm going to lap these to get them in better shape. Because right now, I'm just trying to get them to the point where they don't. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Definitely have pretty good ways to go as far as getting everything cleaned up. Well, I don't know. Depends on how shiny I want it. Really comes down to how shiny I want it. But I am going to be very generous with my elbow grease here. So here's a little bit of that and a bit of a wipe. Definitely getting a lot of that surface stuff, a lot of that surface rust is definitely coming off. Now, I'm genuinely impressed when some people can get like shiny metal with just elbow grease and steel wool. I'm not at that point. I don't think I got that much elbow grease in me. But we can definitely get this looking so much better. Which is my goal. That is my goal. Getting this to look so much better. Which, yeah. So, which as you can see, that actually has a nice shine. That has a nice shine. And then we kind of go over to this side and then, and you can barely even tell. Okay. Sure, if I can't really tell, I'm going to be a little bit less generous here. With my elbow greasing and my rubbings. Okay. That level of crud wiped off. Just building up absolutely incredible levels of crud on that rag. And also on my hands. I'm a guy who works with his hands, so that's pretty par for the course. Okay. Let's do rag wipe. Like that. I'm thinking this rag has seen better days. It has seen better days. But you know what? I am sure, I am absolutely 100% sure that the best day that this hand plane has had in a great number of years has been today. Because I've actually had this in my possession for, I want to say, close to 3 years. And it's only until recently I've actually wanted to really get my hand planes into tip-top working condition. Funny enough, I actually didn't want to buy this one. I actually wanted to buy the Worthington one because this one had the cracked handle, and I wasn't as enthused about purchasing it. But it was part of a lot, so I had to buy everything in the lot to get the thing I wanted. So I ended up getting this guy. Now, question is for myself, do I want to come in here with steel wool and just do a quick go through? Sure. I'm just gonna honestly not even really trying to do much at this point, just because to really get into these nooks and crannies and really get this nice and clean, I don't think steel wool is the best option. But you know what? I've got the WD-40 out. I had the steel wool out in my hand, so I'm thinking let's just go ahead, go through. Get a nice little rub down. I'm gonna get my rag in here, and I'm gonna just get into all the nooks and crannies and get all this cleaned up, because boy oh boy, my rag is picking up some serious crud. So we'll swap over to a fresh rag. Kinda. Ooh, would you look at that? Ooh, look at that. S2. Now I don't know what the 2 stands for, because it is very clearly labeled a number 5. So I'm not sure what that 2 stands for on the sole. Ooh, sorry about that. Bump the camera. Okay. Whew. Holy smokes. My hand is filthy. Yes. Yes. Do that, Sugi. Do it. Protect yourself from yourself. So, I protect myself from myself is my magnetic bowl here. This is going to get all my various goodies. Now, some of my goodies are brass. I don't necessarily have to get them in there, but I do want to make sure I have all my small pieces all in the same place. All my mid pieces are off to the side there, and we have a reasonably cleaned workbench. So, next step is going to be lapping this sole. But before I do that, I am going to take a quick little trip to the little homesteader's room. So I'm going to throw the BRB screen on, and we'll be right back, and we'll get back to cleaning this up. Okay, I'm back. And with a friend. And this friend here is a slab of granite. And together, with in addition to Granite Coon here, who I will try very hard to not bite my fingers. And Sandpaper Coon, we can now lap the sole of the plane. So it's called the plane because with this you can make the wood very smooth and flat. But in order to make wood very smooth and flat, you have to basically have a level surface. This is what the granite's for. This is granite. It is. Granted, I don't have much rocking in you, so that's good. Sole's pretty flat, but we're gonna go ahead, run this on our sandpaper. Back and forth like this. And that's gonna, as you can see, we have a whole bunch of rust here. If we look at our plane, you can see we've removed a whole lot of rust, and we're probably a little bit high on the sides. So yeah, actually, so since I have, whenever I get a decent amount of iron shavings built up, brush them off. Get back to good old lapping. Every once in a while, check. Oh my gosh, that is so much smoother. But as you can see here, we're not getting as much wear, so we definitely have a bit of a hollow to our plane. So we're going to be working that out. With this process. Now, I wasn't anticipating getting one of my workouts in today, but here we are. getting really close now. As we can see, we don't have as much streaking going on. But I'm gonna refresh my sandpaper, kind of get all that gunk off there, get my camera reasonably back to where it was. What did the constipation mathematician do? He worked it out with a pencil. But yeah, we are oh so close. I need to do a little bit more work on that side and that side, but we are looking good. We are going to have ourselves a flat plane. Okay, getting there, getting there. Just the problem is the closer I get, the more material it takes to get to my destination. But we have smudging work to do there. Otherwise, we're pretty good, except we got a little bit. I'm not sure if the ends not being as done is because when I work it, I lose a little bit. But I think we'll do one more session for this face, and we'll probably be calling it good. Okay, that's pretty darn close. Still a little bit there, but I don't think that's going to really affect the performance of the plane. But Definitely got quite a bit of iron oxide on my hands here. But yeah, I'm just taking a closer look at it, honestly. I'm pretty happy with that. That's going to give me a really good base. Make some nice shavings on. So that is part 1 of 3. So we got this, that, and that. So we're going to work on our sides next. Start getting those taken care of. And I'm going to be a little bit less judicious, if you will, with my sides. Because typically to get, if you want your sides really, really, really at like a really flat at a 90-degree angle, stay here, would be if you were to use your plane for a shooting board. Now, honestly, the Worthington might turn into the shooting board plane, because that's a, well, actually, technically, this you can actually make a really good shooting board plane out of the Stanley No5. But I'm not so worried about that. I kind of just want my main vision for this hand plane is to just be one of my more general workhorse planes. Just kind of what the No5 is. So, yep, as you can see, we're removing a lot of material really early on. But, holy shucks, that versus that, world of difference. So, I think for these sides, I'm only going to do like 2 working sessions. And it'll be good. It'll be fine. I got a little bit of unevenness on my... Whew! Check out that 90-degree angle right there. That'd be a pretty good 90-degree angle, I dare say. Granted, let's see what my... Ooh, boy, look at that. Look at that. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yep. That's definitely something I could be happy about. Definitely happy about, and definitely more than enough for for me being a silly VTuber in the garage. So we got 1, 2. Next up is third side. Holy smokes. That clogged with iron quickly. But that also means my job gets done quicker. Okay. That plain iron is so much better than where it was originally at the beginning of today. So, let me get you. Woo! Get that yeeted somewhere. Ugh. Thank you, Granite. Woo! Whew. Boy, oh boy, that was fun. Okay, so I'd say we got ourselves really smooth, really good surface, which, thanks to a good Dad's old shop, I'm just gonna put a little bit of paraffin wax on that, just to kind of help keep rust off of it. Because we've got these wonderful shiny surfaces, and I would like to keep these wonderful shiny surfaces shiny. Also, this is going to also help the plane better, because it'll help reduce friction, which I really need to. I am really excited to see how both this and my Worthington hand plane perform with wax soles. I'm sure it's going to be very game-changing for a guy like me. So, we have cleaned our plane. We have removed cornucopious amounts of dust and iron and all sorts of things. So, let's see here. Fruits. Oh! Okay, and we're back. OBS disconnected, but it came back. Thank you, OBS. Whew, okay. So, we've got the frog, and we have the plane iron. I'm going to do a little bit of lapping with the frog, just to kind of smooth it. And then the plane iron, we're going to actually work on sharpening it. And that's going to be our last activities for today. I want to park those over there. I want to make sure I have my stuff parked in somewhat reasonable areas. Because, yeah, I'm a little short on workbench. Definitely would be nice if I wasn't so short on workbench, but, well, I am. So, here is my diamond stone. This is one of my main stones. And then just a little bit of water for lubrication. Or just go to work on it. And then now what I'm trying to do here is flatten my frog, because you can see we're not taking much here, we're not taking much here, but we're getting a fair bit off in other places. And that's what we wish to accomplish, is we wish to get it flat, because if we get it flat, the flatter we get this, the easier it's to have it tight between the plane iron and the because the smoother we get that more gives a better resting surface for my plane iron. And I don't know if I did this with the Worthington. I really don't know if I did this with the Worthington. But it is, because I am still getting, that's flattening out, and I'm not, usually the frog doesn't get lapped unless it's really out of shape. I just actually just watched a hand plane, ooh, iron dust, so probably not. Okay. I mean, honestly. Let's see. Just kind of want to see here what sort of gap I have between my iron and my frog, and I don't think I have probably much of a gap there, so okay. Well, that's enough worrying about the frog. And since I've been using water on it, I'm going to just go ahead, give it a nice good dry rag dry down. So that way it doesn't get as dirty. Well, trying to keep my stuff as dry as I can. Keep it in reasonably. It can be hard to make those surfaces. The most I've done is use a hand file to take 2 or 3 swipes until it's seated well. Well, I just watched I literally just watched a video before stream to remind myself of the process here, and when they did it with, they actually lapped the frog, so it was just like, oh, okay, they lapped the frog, I'll lap my frog. But yeah, now time for the star of the show, and that's the plane iron. So I'm going to actually start with the back of my plane iron, mostly because I want to get that back real nice and flat. You know what? Okay. So, let's take a look here. So, what do we got going on? So we're definitely taking off material here. Granted, judging by how uneven I am, I am seriously considering blaming my technique on that. So we're doing a lot of rubbing here, and a fair bit of rubbing here, but not getting too much of anything else. So actually, let's get a little bit more water. I'm gonna make sure that's a big cup. I just focus on the front inch towards the blade, not the sides. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was just the first little bit. Don't have to really worry about the whole sides, just that front inch there should be plenty fun. It's only where the chip breaker touches where the flat matters. Okay, well, good to know. Good to know. And as always, it's always nice to have someone here who is a little bit more experienced in this than me. So thank you. Because I am still new to this world of the hand plane. Ooh, okay. That's looking a lot better. A lot better. So, let's see. So that edge there, and then down there. Otherwise, not too bad. Not too bad. So, we'll just trying to think where. Really want to make sure I have pressure where I want it. So I do know that's one of the more. Feel free to tell me to be quiet. No offense will be. Oh no. Like, you are definitely a far more experienced in this world than I am. Like, I am very noob, just dipping my toes into this silly world of hand tools, and as someone who has traditionally been more power tool, because, well, power tool is what I'm familiar with. It's kind of what I've grown up with for the most part. I'm not sure if I'll turn fully hand tool woodworking, but there is power tool. Yeah, power tool go burr. And I like the burr. Suki likes burr. I wish I had my impact driver nearby so that way I could grab it and just go burr burr. To further reiterate my point. Ooh, yeah, that's getting close. Because we are starting to take slightly more material here. Just not really getting that top edge right there. Which... Hello. 2 trigger pulls is the law, just like 2 clicks on. As far as I can tell there. We're really close. I mean, we're gonna be really close, so I'm just gonna hit this with. Also, I mean, like, hand planes are cool. They are certainly cool tools. But this is a Stanley tool. And this is a tool for weebs to work with wood. That is also relative to the chip breaker. It's going to mate too. Oh no. Don't be saying stuff like that. Which, actually, where did I have my chip breaker? Chip breaker. Nope. Yep. Which actually looks like there's a little bit of uneven wear. It's a nice planer. Oh! It's one, a nice planer. And it's even more than a nice planer, because this is actually a thing I really like with Makita tools in general. And this is true for 2 of my Makitas, and that is Makita will recondition their tools. Like, this planer was once a planer used by other people in their shop, and they sent it to Makita, and Makita rebuilt it. Which, as far as I can tell, they definitely threw a new cord on, because this thing actually had new tool smell when I got it, even though it was a factory recondition. They probably redid the cord, and then they also probably put new blades on. And then they probably just did a general cleanup on it. And then they'll also put like an R down here to mark that it's a reconditioned tool, but I like the fact that they rework. They'll actually take in their old tools and rebuild them and make them new again. And then I can get a Makita quality tool for like, now I get it for a discount. It's like, I think it's like around 15% if I were to actually buy it new. But I mean, still, that's a 15% discount off the Makita brand. Like that, I mean, that's some quality there. And I kind of just also like it when manufacturers are like, hey, we'll take your stuff and we'll clean it up and make it whole again. Now, this is honestly going to be a part I'm going to have a little bit less experience with, which I think, not sure if going back and forth is going to be a good idea, but because historically I've just stroked with these guys. Granted, I think the way the grits work on the diamond, I can go both ways, but I don't think it really matters at the end of the day for the sharpening. But for this, the first part is I'm mostly aiming for bevel establishment. I want to get my bevel cleaned up. And get it nice and shiny. Because this is also one of the fun, more meditative parts of restoring an old tool is the good old sharpening of the iron. Okay, what we have here? Ooh, look at that. Oh, wow. Okay. So, okay. So we are actually only shaving one part there. So it looks like, I reckon this plane blade did not have a whole lot of bevel work done, which means I get to do more bevel work to reestablish the bevel. But we're going to be doing this first part of the process with the 600 grit, because the 600 grit is basically lots of removal quickly. And then we can move up to the old wandering bevel angle. Oh no. Not the old wandering bevel angle. Granted, this is also why some people have dedicated jigs for it, because doing it freehand is certainly prone to human error. And you know what? I'm just a guy YouTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s, so I definitely believe in a little bit of human error around here. Error's fine. Error is fine as long as you learn, is my general take on the matter. It's just I'm probably going to be I'm imagining I'm going to be due for a whole lot of this grinding. I'll use a guide if I totally have to reestablish a bevel. Thankfully, I've only really had to do that once. I don't know if it's that bad. It just looked like the way they had taken care of it, well, Granddad took care of it. He may have not have sharpened it super well. While making a chicken sandwich, old Hector kept bumming for food, so I gave him a bunch. I think he has my number. Oh no. Old Hector's got Spock's number. Either that or Spock's becoming domesticated. That's the dangerous thing that happens when you let a cat into your house. Cats can be exceedingly assertive of themselves and your space and be like, yep. Everything you have is mine now. Okay, let's see. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. It is slowly coming together. So we are bringing bevel across. I have probably a third of an inch here on this end, so I'll have to be really mindful of this one corner, keeping pressure on that one corner. But that bevel is actually coming along nicely. And honestly, I'm just really glad this thing does not have any chips in it. I'm really thankful for the fact this thing does not have any chips in it. Okay, so the far side from me, so this corner right here, really need to apply some pressure to that side of the world. And we should be able to get a bevel reestablished. And I'm gonna have a sharp thing. Oh yeah, chips make for, yeah, like doing what I need to do by hand. Will it shave your arm hair? Not with this grit. Not at this grit. I'll need to move up to the 1000 to think about it, but I also think I'll have to go to, I have to wait for my finishing stone, my 6000 grit to come in, and once that comes in, then I'll be able to think about shaving arm hair. But if I can shave arm hair, I'll shave arm hair. I mean, I've gotten my plane blades decently sharp with the, you can shave with 1000. Ah, okay. Good to know. So that will be, we'll make that today's goal. We'll make that today's goal. Shave some arm hair. Not most people's goals, but that'll be my goal. Actually have a steady drop of water. Yeah, let me get a bucket. Bucket. Because I'm actually getting a steady flow of water off my workbench. Okay, what the up? Take a look at it here. So that bevel's slowly coming back. Stones over 1200 are for like sushi chefs or people who want really polished edge for rust resistance. Ah. Ooh. But I am building a burr. Definitely not getting it on this side of the world where I don't have as much of a keen edge, if you will, but I'm getting fairly happy with that. So if I can I'm not going to try and bring this all the way to here. I don't think I need to do that. But if I can just get this corner, get it to the point where I can start to feel a bit of an edge there, I think we'll be doing really, really, really good. I don't know. I just saw people using like higher levels of grit and was like, okay, I'll try it. Especially considering the fact I'm only like out $40 for a stone like that. Which, the way I'm probably going to be drinking beer from now on, I'm probably not going to worry about that kind of money. Sharpness is also subjective. In general, the sharper the blade, the quicker it'll get dull. Yeah, that's true. Because the finer your edge, the less supported the edge is, and then the more work. I suppose if I was... Oh yeah, that high grit stone will be useful for knives and such. Well, I do sharpen my knives, so... Granted, I suppose for working tools it might be a bit much, but that's no big deal. But yeah, so I'm probably not going to be buying beer at Costco anymore, because I'm going to be cutting back my beer consumption. So, with the amount of money that I'm going to save from not buying beer at Costco, more than easily pays for that. And also, thankfully, I was able to pay the biggest bill of the year. The biggest reoccurring bill of the year I get earlier this week. And that was the dreaded property taxes. I have paid my property taxes. Well, I've mailed my check. I have mailed the check. Technically, until they deposit the check, I have not technically paid. But at least my part in the process is done. Which is like... I thought you were going to say heating oil. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, sir, I am from the Kentucky. We don't have a whole lot of heating oil here. Okay. Actually, that's slowly coming down, while also slowly building out that way. And I definitely have quite the burr on the back, but not at this edge. So just really have that last little bit. Also, I have fully heat pumped my whole house. So my HVAC is heat pump, my water heater's heat pump. I have heat pumped all the things. And I actually got my utility bill. Oh, like 1/5 of houses up here use oil heat. Oof. Yeah, that's dreadfully expensive. Because oil heat, you're basically paying for diesel fuel to be shipped to your house and then burned for heating. Which, boy oh boy, an oil furnace will seriously heat a home. But it burns through some fuel. I want a heat pump for our next heater system. I'm jealous. Oh, if you want to be like real jealous, the heat pump water heater discharges into my garage, which means I get free air conditioning in the summer months. But yeah, my utility bill for the last month, well, this month's utility bill was under 23 bucks. But that's also because I have solar panels. So my house is basically all electric now, and I have solar panels, so my utility bills are just atrociously low, and I love it. I actually showed my boss at work my energy bill, and he was just straight dumbfounded. Do you have any? I'm not mad, I'm just trying to look at my eyebrows. Do you have any tips on wet sharpening? I'm presuming you're meaning the whetstone sharpening I'm doing right now. Honestly, I feel like the best thing you can do is when you're sharpening, you always want to be applying even pressure to the tip of your blade. Let the natural bevel of the blade, because basically what I'm doing with my hands here is I'm applying all my pressure with these fingers, and then my right hand here, all it's doing is providing a little bit of support for the plane iron. So when I pull this across, I'm pulling it across by just using my finger pressure and dragging the plane iron with me across the stone. That is how I'm doing this. And that's kind of how I help myself maintain a consistent bevel, by keeping all my force here at the tip, so that way the bevel becomes a reference surface against the stone, which we are now starting to we're just starting to get to that last little bit towards the end. Oh! Okay, so PSA, don't let your fingers get too close to the sharpening stone. Sharpening stone can, if the sharpening stone can remove this cornucopious amount of metal, it can also remove not metal. We don't want to remove the not metal. We want to keep the not metal where the not metal is. Yeah. Coal miner finger, plus also one of the tips of my fingers got. I took some strokes with the tip of my finger across the stone. But yeah, we're cool. Oh, look! Look, there's shiny red stuff there. Hi, shiny red stuff. You look like the shiny red stuff I give to a certain organization about 6 times a year. Mm-hmm. And sometimes my doctor, well, actually I haven't been to a doctor. See that now? Yeah. We grinded too close to the sun. Well, too close to the stone. The price of having fun, though, is a price I will gladly pay. Because fun is fun. I am definitely a huge fan of the fun. Okay. So I'm not gonna look. So burr. Kinda got a burr towards that end. I am going to get some water in me. Hobbies sometimes hurt. Most of my hand scars are from making minis for games like Warhammer 40k. Oh wait, oh. Flip it around, buddy. So I think what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna do one more solid session at 600 grit, and then we're gonna move up to the 1000. Granted, this bucket is really working out for me, though. But yeah, that's one of the dangers of having your fingers a little bit too close to the stone. So you end up shaving a little bit more than metal. Okay. Good idea on the grip. Oh man, I love the grip cloth. Like, some people have, you know, like the fancy like wood things that can hold your sharpening stones. Grip cloth is like the best cheap solution. It is hands down the best cheap solution. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. I don't know if my camera is fine enough. Oh. Okay, so you see that little shiny flake down there? That little hair of light, right? Yep, that's the burr wire right there. Like, I am really close on this edge, and we are getting really far in today. So I'm going to be moving today along, and we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and level up to the 1000 grit. But that does make me feel pretty good about my sharpening, because I have a very consistent bevel, and I made a really good burr wire. So I think I'm going to feel very good about this blade. And since we were doing a lot of removing with the 600, I'm not expecting to spend a lot of time at the 1000 grit scale. Granted, if we do want to do a little bit of arm shaving, I'm going to have to remove that burr wire. Okay. Granted, it's kind of funny, I can actually notice a feeling on how the blade pulls across the stone. Earlier, it was, well, first little while, lots of resistance. Right now, it's really starting to it feels a lot smoother. So, I don't think we really got much left to do for this guy, which is good. That's actually really good. That gives me less work to do. Okay. Let's take a look here. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that. Oh man, look at that. Oh, look at it. So smooth. And then we have ourselves nice little bit of burr wire there. Across the back, that fades out close to the... So I think I'm gonna do another stroke session. And then I'm going to take off that burr wire, and we're going to see what we... And then we're going to see if we can't shave some arm hair. And if I can shave some arm hair, then that's mission accomplished. Granted, that burr wire is like really pronounced. I think this is the most pronounced I've had a burr wire. Definitely to the point where I could like feel it. Okay. Okay. There's our edge. We still have just a hair bit of work left on that. But do have a little bit of burr wire. So with that, you can actually should be able to see it really, really well there. It's that secondary surface. I'm gonna have to get that off if did a nice little flip. Yep. Oh, there's a little bit of it. A few more off. I don't think I got too much longer to do. C1. There we go. Okay. Let me grab a rag here. Get some. Yep, there we go. I've been a little hair bit generous with that slope I had. A little less than ideal there, but let's see here. Ooh, I feel that pull in there. Don't think it's the greatest. Got your strop and green stuff. I wish I had strop and green stuff. I need to get strop and green stuff. But there it is. It's hair. It is sharp enough to shave with. Which, let's see. I don't know. Can you tell? I mean, I'm sure if I strop this, this will be like next level. But I don't have strop and green stuff. Things that, actual things I need to get. So you can shave off 1,000, yeah. But hey. There we go. I can shave, but I did not do this to shave myself. Yeah, it would make it do it smooth. You can, yeah, well, yeah, the thing is I just have to get my hands on a piece of leather. I'm not sure how the best way to get my hands on a piece of leather is going to be. Just give you a little bit of TLC right quick. Oh, there we go. There you go. You're nice and flat. You're great. You're absolutely amazing. My wonderful plane iron that is now very sharp. The worst part of the shave test when you rub your eyes with your forearm, forgetting how short and sharp your... Oh! Yikes. I don't think I've ever experienced that part of the shave test. Honestly, what I like to do for when I test my blades is poke, like if I can do if I can make confetti with it, I'm pretty happy with it. Cause yay, confetti! So, we have ourselves a wonderfully sharp plane iron. We have ourselves various tools in various states of cleanliness and ready to work. Have I done anything to... I don't think I've done anything that really makes that Stanley pop out, other than the fact you guys can probably tell that there's some lettering there. But yeah. So, this is all I'm willing to go for today, because, well, we're nearly at the 2.5 hour mark, and that's a pretty good day right there. Next week's project, well, the next phase, because I'm probably, since I have time, I'm probably going to throw all my small tools in Evaporust to just really get the rust off, just to really get them really nice and cleaned up. And then we're going to be making a new handle out of, so, which I actually am very glad I have enough block to make a handle, and also I have enough block to get 2 handles after I remove material, because honestly I might end up with a slightly beefier handle. I will not, because hey, here's the thing, I am making this handle, and if I think the plane can support a slightly wider tote, then by all means I'm going to go for it, because that's going to give it a lot more rigidity and help it hold together. I also think one of the issues is, you can kind of see how the wood grain steps down. I think it's split along the wood grain. The hardest part is drilling the hole for the screw. Yeah, that's the part that scares me. But hey, you know what? With this block, I get 2 tries. But I'm basically going to try and do stuff to set things up to make things easy for me. So hopefully I get a pretty good game plan together on that. So that is going to be the next phase of this project. I don't want to set my wood down on stuff that's actually wet. Oh, but yeah. Woo. Oh, let's see here. Let us see. Okay. So, oh yeah, sweetums. Hold on one second. So, there is a collab happening right now between 2 VTubers I really like. 2 wonderfully middle-aged human beings are having an absolutely lovely chat. So, I want to say, so I'm actually, after I end stream here, I'm going to be over there, and I'm going to be on that side of the world. Which, for those wondering, I'm going to be over on that side of the world, because Almontis is doing a collab with a new VTuber named Scrimbo, and I really like Scrimbo, and I really like Almontis, so I'm going to be over there hanging out. So for all those who tuned in today, I want to say thank you very much for tuning in, and dealing with my arm shaving shenanigans. And yeah, next stream will be Sunday morning. We'll be making some Thai curry, and hopefully I'll see you all then. Okay, bye-bye.